Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. This is the first EPI Talks campaign cooking class. My name is Mia Sin. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I'm so excited to be hosting this event today. So, I'm going to start with a few housekeeping items before we jump in. Just to let you guys know, you will all be muted with video off for the duration of the event, but we'd love to hear from you. So, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop that into the chat function, which you should see at the bottom of your screen. So with that, I'd love to kick off with some background. So we're going to pull up the PowerPoint now. So let's start with some background. Last year, as many of you may know, AbbVie launched the EPI Talks campaign, which is an initiative highlighting perspectives of those living with or caring for someone with EPI, the importance of diagnosis, and raising awareness. EPI is also known as exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. It's an underrecognized GI condition. I partnered with AbbVie last year to kick off the campaign and discuss the importance of nutrition and healthy eating habits for those living with GI conditions like EPI. So we'll go to the next slide, and I'll share a little bit about my background. So I am a registered dietitian, national on-air nutrition expert. I'm a health advisory board member at Forbes Health and Very Well Fit, and an author. I wrote a book last year called Mostly Plant-Based. I also have a master's degree in human nutrition from Columbia, and I regularly contribute to major media outlets like Shape and Cosmopolitan. You can also find me on Instagram at Nutrition by Mia, and on TV each week on local and national affiliates across the country, where I share easy, healthy recipes and nutrition tips. And I'm so excited to be here today and continue to partner with AbbVie on this important EPI Talks campaign. So our time today is going to be focused on the importance of healthy eating habits, nutrition tips and guidance, and recipes for those living with GI conditions, including EPI. And I hope that by providing some key information and these easy recipes, you'll feel educated and empowered to make those smart nutritional choices at home, at work, on the go to help manage GI symptoms and overall health. So we'll move to the next slide. And before we start cooking, I want to talk a little bit about digestive diseases, specifically EPI and the role of nutrition. So to start off, digestive diseases affect nearly 70 million Americans each year. And this really makes healthy eating and good nutrition even more critical for people with digestive discomfort or GI conditions. And one of those GI conditions is EPI, which is a condition in which the pancreas cannot properly break down food, resulting in poor digestion of essential nutrients, including those macronutrients, fat, protein, and carbohydrates. EPI symptoms can vary from person to person, but if you have one, some, or all of these following symptoms, you should speak with your doctor right away. That includes diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. Now, the good thing is EPI is a manageable condition, and your doctor can work with you to determine the best treatment plan. Today, we are focusing on food and why that plays such a significant role in all of this. We know that eating healthy, nutritious meals is important for everyone, but especially for those with a GI condition like EPI. With EPI, it's important that your meals are well balanced and always include a protein, carbohydrate, and fat to ensure that you're getting the essential nutrients that you need. And protein comes from foods like meat, poultry, fish. Carbohydrates are found in foods like bread and pasta, but also fruits and veggies. And then fat is found in foods such as nuts and cheese. And the recipes I'm going to walk you through today check all of those boxes. They have a protein, carbohydrate, and fat. So maintaining good nutrition is just one part of managing EPI, and it's critical to actively work with your doctor or nutritionist to help you get the nutrition you need and manage those GI symptoms. So I have a few tips to help make healthy food choices for those living with digestive discomfort. So number one is to eat small, frequent meals. So I suggest incorporating 2 to 3 snacks along with 3 main meals daily. So instead of doing 3 big meals, just kind of breaking up your meals into smaller portions and smaller snacks throughout the day. And some great nutritious snack options are apple with natural peanut butter or pre-cooked hard-boiled eggs, for example. Number 2, you want to drink plenty of water. This will ensure that you stay hydrated, which can impact GI symptoms. And number three, balance is key. You want to focus on a balance of those three macronutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. Including dietary fat as part of a well-balanced diet is needed to absorb those fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. So you can make these healthy choices and still enjoy delicious meals. And I have a few more tips before we head into my kitchen. My next tip is to avoid highly processed foods. Some examples are microwavable meals, processed meat products, and breakfast cereals. You want to focus on whole foods instead, which we're going to do in the recipe demo portion. It's also important to consult with your doctor or nutritionist for individual dietary recommendations as part of your overall management plan. And number five, you want to read those restaurant menus carefully. So there's a lot of keywords that can kind of help guide you on menus, such as crunchy, battered, crispy, breaded, and crusted. Those are all fancy words for fried. Fried foods are higher in fat and harder for the body to digest. Instead, you want to look for words like roasted, baked, broiled, poached, grilled, steamed. Those indicate healthier preparations. And number six, track your GI symptoms. So monitor how your symptoms correspond with what you're eating. It's important to share these findings with your doctor, as doing so can help identify the cause. So if you think you may be experiencing symptoms of EPI or another GI condition, you want to find time to speak with your doctor and voice your concerns. And if you want to learn more about EPI and how to talk to your doctor, you can visit identifyepi.com. So that leads us into our fun portion, which is the recipe demo. And we are going to head into my kitchen now. So hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm so excited to be walking you through these three delicious recipes. You know, as we know, life gets hectic and healthy eating shouldn't add to that stress. And so these recipes and all the recipes I develop and share are supposed to be really easy. I'm trying to make nutrition easy, healthy cooking and eating easy. They're also GI and EPI friendly options as they meet the dietary recommendations: turkey, egg white, and veggie breakfast bites. So I love these because they are a great meal prep option. They're a convenient source of high quality protein, and you can meal prep them in advance and enjoy throughout the week. You can also freeze them and reheat them later on. So they're great to make ahead of time. Another great thing about this recipe is that it's easy to grab and go. It checks your carbohydrate, fat, and protein boxes, and it can be customized with whatever vegetables you have on hand. I'm a huge fan of cleaning out the fridge with all the veggies that are, on their last leg. So for this recipe, I started with some lean ground turkey. I already browned it in the skillet. You're going to brown that with some olive oil and then add your veggies. So I'm using some diced red bell pepper. I like the red because it's a little bit sweeter, naturally sweeter. We have some yellow onion as well, and then some spinach. And you can also, I think, great veggies to add to this recipe are mushrooms, kale. So really use whatever you have on hand. So you're going to cook that up. I like to add the spinach at the end just to cook it until it's lightly wilted. And you're going to get this mixture like this with your veggies and your lean ground turkey. And you're just going to divide that into your muffin pan and fill these wells about 2/3 full, because you still want room for the egg whites, which are going to bind the ingredients together. So I'm just going to do a few here. And then we are going to make our egg whites mixture. So I use egg whites in this recipe, but you can definitely use like one egg and the rest egg whites, or half whole eggs and the rest egg whites. I use egg whites because they're a source of pure protein. There's no fat in this, and we are getting fat from the oil that was used to cook the turkey. So that's why I decided to use the egg whites. So next I'm going to add some basil, oregano, and salt and pepper, and whisk that together. And then really easy, you're just going to pour that into your muffin pan and cook this for about 25 to 30 minutes or until they're set. It might take a little less or a little longer. And there you have it. You have a really easy protein-packed breakfast that you can grab and go. And it also has some carbohydrates from the vegetables, but I also recommend pairing this with whole grain toast or a piece of fruit. That way you're building that complete balanced breakfast. So it's a great option, great snack as well. So that's our breakfast. Hope you enjoyed those. Very customizable. You can make them all year round. So next up, we have my one skillet Greek chicken. So this recipe is actually from my book, and I adapted it for this event today. I modified it a little bit. We're going to start by cooking our chicken. So chicken is a source of lean protein. So I like to use it in a lot of my healthier dinner recipes because you're not getting as much fat from the saturated fat, and you can add in good fats, which we are doing with the olives and the olive oil. Next, we are going to add in some balsamic vinegar and some minced garlic. And this just adds such amazing flavor for not a lot of calories at all. Mix that together, saute it, pretend like I have a burner on right now. And then you're going to take a slotted spoon and remove the chicken, but leave the juices in the pan. So this is just going to kind of show you that will look like. And then next, you're going to add in those cherry tomatoes. So you're going to remove all the chicken from the pan. I guess I'll remove a little bit more. And we're going to add our cherry tomatoes in there and continue cooking for a few minutes. They're going to soften a little bit. And then we're going to add in our orzo. And you can see, here's the finished dish. We're going to add in some orzo, and that's 1 1/3 cup and 1 cup of water. So now you're going to cook it for about 10 minutes. When I made this earlier today, it actually took less time, about 7 or 8 minutes. And you're going to cook it until the pasta is al dente and most of the water, all of the water is absorbed, and these tomatoes will get kind of soft, as you can see here. And then you just simply add back your chicken so that you're getting your protein. We have our carbohydrates, which is the orzo, our vegetables, and we're going to add in some artichoke hearts, which I just chopped up. These are canned, and our olives. And this is our healthy fat source. And so you can kind of mix that up and then top it with some parsley. And so in my book, I actually serve this with some tzatziki, just a great sort of creamy cucumber yogurt dip, adds a little more protein in there. And there you have it. Here's the final recipe. So this is a really easy weeknight dinner option, and then you can enjoy leftovers for lunch the next day. So moving on to our dessert, which of course, best for last. You have a sweet tooth like me, you love cookies. These are also from my book, again, adapted a little bit. They are banana sweetened peanut butter oatmeal cookies. They look a little bit like this. What's great about this recipe is they're super soft and chewy. They're made with pantry staples that you probably already have on hand. All you really need is 2 bananas. And unlike your traditional cookies, these are not made with flour, eggs, or added sugar. They get all their sweetness from bananas, which is what I love about them. And I make a lot of dessert recipes that I like to call desserts with benefits. So I like to utilize better for you sweeteners like dates and bananas, which add sweetness along with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. So I have a lot of recipes like that on my website, nutritionbymia.com, and in my book as well. So we're going to add in our banana, and you can use a potato masher or the back of a fork to mash this up. Ripe bananas are going to be a little bit sweeter naturally. So I prefer this to be a little more ripe, and they're also easier to mash. So you're going to start by mashing your bananas in here. And then we're going to add in our nut butter. So we are using this natural peanut butter, and you can use whatever nut butter you like. You just want to make sure that it's a natural nut butter, doesn't have any added sugar in there. Since a lot of store brands add sugar in there, you just want it to be natural. So the only ingredient should be peanuts with maybe salt. Next, we're going to add in our oats. So I'm using rolled oats and quick oats. This combination really gives these cookies the perfect chewy texture. When I was recipe developing them, I'm going to start with the rolled oats. And if you don't have quick oats, you can actually make them at home using rolled oats. Just add them to a food processor and blitz them for a few seconds, and they're just going to become a little bit more fine like that. Add that in, and I'm going to mix that up. Then I'm just going to add some vanilla extract in there. So really easy. I mean, I think this is 5 or 6 ingredients. And in my book, I actually use chocolate chips, but we're not doing that today. And they don't really need them. So you're going to get sort of a gooey batter like this. And take a cookie scoop, add that to your baking sheet. You can line this with parchment paper or just grease it with some oil. I use a spray oil and use a cookie scoop and then just flatten them with your hands because they're not going to spread when they cook. And then just flatten them. And you have this great little sweet treat that is made with good for you ingredients. I mean, this is probably good enough to eat for breakfast. So again, you're getting your carbohydrates, protein, and fat in there. Nut butter is a good source of plant protein and those good healthy fats. And then those oats are a source of our carbohydrates, and you're also getting fiber in there as well. So that was pretty quick. Walking through all the recipes. Let me know if you have any questions about these recipes. I'm really excited for you guys to try them yourself. And I hope that after today, you guys feel more confident in the kitchen, learn something new about EPI, the importance of nutrition and overall management. And thank you so much, Abby, for having me today. I'll be sharing more tips on Instagram at Nutrition by Mia, so follow me there. And then you can also visit identifyepi.com for more information about EPI and tips as well. So thank you so much for joining today, and I'll see you next time. Take care.